I feel like the meme video is gonna win. Fuck it, we'll do meme. I have no self-respect.
Alrighty, so producer...
If this is really bad, we can turn it off, but I gotta see the Dank Ben Shapiro memes, because as we all know, the right has such great memes.
Colton put together some viral videos of me. Now, I will admit, freely, that I dislike watching me, but I'm going to do it anyway, and then I'm going to comment on these viral videos and give...
Don't worry, Ben, we all dislike watching you too.
...you my reaction.
It's an easy joke, but you gotta go for it when you see it, you know?
But first, this video is sponsored by Blinksale. It's the revolutionary invoicing software that is going to allow you to keep track of all the getting your garbage. You can let them open, use Blinksale, inspect. You go to Blinks online, get paid. You just send by Blinksale for free. Pay SALE.
At school that is full of left. Hi Ben, my name is Matthew, and I go to a school, Catholic private school that is full of leftist, statist punks, and I.
Your Catholic school is full of leftist, statist punks. Doubt?
Hate them. And my,
It's like an Alcoholics Anonymous meeting.
yeah.
That kid needs a suit that fits. I don't blame him. He's still in school. I get it, but that suit doesn't fit him.
Oxymoron, I tell you.
Not an ad hom, by the way. That has nothing to do with what he's saying. I'm just saying he could use a tailor. Thank you to, your beloved Dizzy. Or no, your beloved Izzy. Thank you for following.
So in the very rare case where a leftist uses evidence, logic, and empiricism, how do I combat, like, statistics they propose?
Who is it and when has it happened ever?
Jesus fucking Christ. Anyone else say the left doesn't use statistics? That's not the question he asked, Ben. Oh, a Thug Life meme. I remember using those in 2014 and earlier.
Okay. So it's a Thug Life video. Okay, so it's a Thug Life video. So the Thug Life stuff was one of the early sort of internet iterations of...
Oh god, is Ben just gonna explain the meme? No, Ben. The point of memes is you don't need to explain them.
Ben Shapiro meme
Oh, he's gonna...
culture. I'm forever grateful to whoever is the person who did this. It's really, really funny because, of course, I'm a nerd. And so juxtaposing me to these sort of... I'm like wearing a tie there, right?
Have you guys ever seen the meme where it's Peter Griffin explaining the joke? This is that, but unironically. And Ben, we know what memes are. We know what memes are, Ben!
And then the Thug Life culture, it's pretty great. I mean, this did become a Halloween costume for me, I believe, year 1 of the Ben Shapiro show. You
All right.
can go back, you can find the episode where I actually wore the memes, the GIF sunglasses, and I wore like a Thug Life hat and all the rest of it. But it's a source of endless amusement even today to watch those kind of things, see the blunt come in from...
I swear to God, I need to be, for Halloween, it'll be the most meta costume ever. I'll be Ben Shapiro in the Thug Life costume. And I'll just walk around telling people that, by the way, my wife is a doctor. Claire the Egg says, does he just think the memes come from his community? I don't think so. I have no idea.
From the side. So I enjoy that stuff.
Al Sharpton, say hello to Ben Shapiro.
Hello, good morning, Ben.
Hi, how are you?
Fine.
Have you guys ever met or spoken before?
No, I haven't, and I'd like to just ask Mr. Sharpton exactly why he's not paying for the Swan and Browley case, and also why he incited riots against Jews in Crown Heights.
Are these all gonna be Thug Life memes? You guys know there's more than one meme, right? Especially since, like, 2013 when this was a thing. I've used the Thug Life memes in videos years ago. It's played the fuck out.
There's another one of the meme cultures. I remember this specific episode of the Keith Larson Show. So I was friends with Keith.
Yeah, Baja Blast says, wait to do that costume until your wife is actually a doctor. It'll be better. True.
I used to be on his show weekly, and we would just kind of hash out the news for 15 or 20 minutes. This particular time I was scheduled to call in, and just at the time I was supposed to call in, then Al Sharpton, who was then running for president, called in himself to be on Keith Larson's. This is in North Carolina. And Keith says to me off the air, you know, Al Sharpton just called in. Would you like to be on the air with Al Sharpton? And I was like, okay, there's at least a half a shot that this is actually just a prank and this isn't actually Al Sharpton. And then you can hear the interview. He starts talking to me. I'm like, oh, actually, it is Al Sharpton. Well, I'm never going to get on the air with Al Sharpton again, right? There's never going to be an opportunity to be on the air with Al Sharpton. Again, I was 19 at the time, I think 19 or 20 years old. And so I said, okay, well, now that I've got to ask him a question, I'm going to ask the only question that really matters about Al Sharpton, which is why is he a terrible person?
The Maru Sama says, I watched the stream from a few days ago where you watched the super sexist guy who sounded like he was drunk. Most sickening guy I think you've shown. I need to see more. Yeah, he's on deck for today.
Al Sharpton did not actually have an answer to this. If you actually listen to the rest of this particular interview, it's really funny because Al Sharpton threatens me with a lawsuit. I say this and he says, you ask questions like that and you could get sued. And then he and Larson have this broader discussion. And
I'm going to be honest, I don't know dick about Al Sharpton.
Larson comes back to me and says, do you have anything else to say to Reverend Sharpton? And I said, not really. I just want to say to him that if he feels like...
Wing the Ultimate Nug says, just cause it's my paycheck with 400 bits. Thank you very much.
Suing me for my $5,000 in bar mitzvah money, he can come right after me anytime, Mr. Sharpton. And that was sort of the end of the conversation. So,
Ben, your family's rich. Why are you acting like you don't have money? Even prior to becoming famous online for being a weird right-wing pundit, you had money. Your family's rich.
yeah.
Do you think your family's not rich, Ben? You're cousins with Mara Wilson. Your family's rich. What are you talking about?
The thug life began early, is I think all you can say about this.
Ben, when you come on television, when
your family's like in the entertainment industry. Like, they're known.
You write columns. Do you feel that you are being persecuted, or do you feel that you are being,
this is going to be another thug life
put in
meme.
an uncomfortable position because everybody else seems to believe the opposite of what you believe?
Listen, I'm happy to be in liberal areas. I've spent my entire life in Los Angeles and Cambridge, Massachusetts. I like being in liberal areas. I like duking it out. But there's no question that the media is biased to the left. Being from the right on a left network like CNN, sure, of course I'm on the defensive, and I go in with game planning for it. I mean,
claiming that CNN is a left network is fucking hilarious. CNN is liberal at best, but they're incredibly corporatist, which is the opposite of the left. They might be proponents for stuff like Black Lives Matter, but honestly, more often than not, they go for sensationalism and whatever they think's going to get the most views. CNN is awful, and I think just about everyone agrees. I don't think it's as awful as, like, Fox News, but they're just bad in different ways. Calling CNN a leftist network is fucking hilarious. Ooh, I just got an emergency alert from the governor telling me to wear a fucking mask. I will if I go outside, because I'm not crazy. Dim302 with 25 bits. The sad thing is, some of these Ben Shapiro wrecked compilations get recommended before or after fail army videos, which is how people end up in his rabbit hole. Yeah, YouTube recommends a lot of right-wing people like that randomly. It's very strange.
And it's not the same thing as going on Fox News, which obviously leans to the right. I mean, there are, and that's
tell
okay.
me about how you plan
that,
for it. I'm curious because we're on, the most meta show on CNN. How do you plan for it differently?
Well, what I do is I assume that I'm going to get a certain set of questions from folks like you, Brian, that I generally do get, and with all the veiled implications therein. Don't you feel persecuted when you go on a leftist network? The implication, of course, being that I see myself as a victim. Don't you feel like when you come on a leftist network and you're being attacked that maybe it's because, you're just a little bit intolerant? These are usually the way these conversations go. So, I'm glad, Brian, that you haven't done all of those things. You've done some of them.
Wait, what was Thug Life about that? He's just talking really fast, like always. We're halfway through the video, and we've had 3 Thug Life memes. There's not even fucking Pepe thrown in here. What the fuck is this shit? Did the person who aggregated these memes not know there are other memes? This makes me madder than the actual bullshit Ben Shapiro spouts because I'm just so confused. Ben, I'm sure there's probably shitty memes, but I'm sure on the Ben Shapiro subreddit or whatever, I'm sure there are Ben Shapiro memes. Why are all of them Thug Life?
I'd forgotten about that one. That's a good one. That's some solid stuff there from Shapiro Thug Life. So sometimes you forget the good things that you've done, the good things that you've said. I do appreciate, I can't remember who the other guest is there in the split screen, but his reactions are pretty priceless. They're kind of valuable. Like, you can see he's trying not to laugh.
The guy on the right looks like the dad from Richie Rich. Richie Rich. Dad. Edward Herman. Let's get a look at him. Okay, here's the dad from Richie Rich. You guys can see that, right? There's the dad from Richie Rich. Oh God, there's so many. And here's the guy who's on the CNN panel. They look exactly alike. Is the dad from Richie Rich on CNN now? Because that would track.
Throughout this entire conversation. Because, indeed, it is quite ridiculous. I mean, the truth is, I've been on Stelter's program a few times, and I've always found him to be a personable chap. But one of the great lies, of course, of CNN is its objectivity. And Brian Stelter, as objective journalist, not so much, not so much.
So you've supported, like, this really racist idea that healthcare should not be for free. And I just wanted to ask about that.
Okay, so here's how this works, gang. Honestly, if you can't see that a universal healthcare system is bad for America, you're wasting my time, okay? Okay, folks, so the healthcare cost crisis didn't actually begin—
This isn't a meme, it's a cartoon.
Until the government got involved by creating Medicare and Medicaid, because when you artificially stimulate demand, there's no incentive—
And most people's view of healthcare as a right is not that it's racist to not do it, although you could make arguments for it in terms of that impacting lower income areas more, and of course lower income areas in the United States tend to mean minority communities, so you could argue that, but most of the time I see healthcare as a right argued, it's just from a perspective that, hey, we're the only developed nation in the Western world that doesn't have it, it's clear it works, everyone is getting price gouged, we need to figure out a way to stop this. And Republicans will always be like, well, we'll open up healthcare so you can sell it across state lines, which is a bad idea, because then people are going to get shitty healthcare. It's going to be a race to the bottom where someone's going to open up a healthcare place that's in a state with the fewest regulations, that's going to offer basically no services to you. It's going to have a huge deductible, and it's going to help no one. It would be bad.
To lower price. Not to mention, you are not entitled to the product of somebody else's labor. That's called slavery, gang, okay? This is what would actually happen under a universal healthcare system. Here's what—
saying that you're not entitled to the fruits of someone else's labor is an argument against capitalism, not socialism. And also, does he make this same argument towards teachers who are government employees? And by the way, they're voluntarily working for the government, and they're being paid for it. It's not slavery. The same would apply to doctors if they worked for a federal healthcare system. And as that is the case in places like the UK, where you can be an NHS employee as a doctor or whatever, they're not slaves. They're choosing to go into that line of work, and in that country it happens to be a governmental job. That's not slavery. Are firemen and women slaves because they work off of the dime of the taxpayer? No. Ben Shapiro makes very stupid arguments. And I know this is like a cartoon parody of him saying this. Not really a parody, because they're not parodying him. They're parodying the liberal. But Ben Shapiro has said that, like verbatim, that you're not entitled to someone else's labor, which is hilarious, coming from a fucking capitalist.
Here's what a single-payer healthcare system would actually do, okay, folks? It would actually make doctors literal slaves who would have to live in cabins on a plantation somewhere, all right, folks? And the idea that doctors are just your slaves who you can, marry without their consent and then make half doctor, half regular people babies with. Okay, well, then what happens to the babies? Are they now doctors? Are they slave doctors who have to be doctors, or are they free? Like, now what?
Is this a parody of Ben?
Okay, so that's why that system would just never work.
But I should just get healthcare. I should just get it for free.
Oh, Jesus Christ. This is another violence is funny punchline. Not a fan of those. Thing happens. Person hits someone. Slapstick's a little more complicated than that, folks. Not super funny to just have laser eyes come out and destroy someone, especially when it's not indicative of what actually happens. The implication here is that Ben Shapiro will destroy someone with facts and logic when he doesn't. So.
And that's how you talk to a leftist.
Okay, so now we have memes of memes, right? We've got a meme of the Thug Life meme. Honestly,
wait, did that end with a Thug Life too? God damn it! Why are all of these? Did they literally type in the one meme they knew with Ben Shapiro's name? Ben Shapiro, Thug Life. No. That's not the only meme.
Okay, so now we have memes of memes, right? We've got a meme of the Thug Life meme. Honestly, there have been a lot of parodies made about me. The only one I've ever thought was actually deeply unfunny. The only parody I ever thought was deeply unfunny was the one from Our Cartoon President, where Stephen Colbert parodied me by having me holding hands with Alex Jones. Because that parody doesn't even make sense. Like, this one is obviously taking my perspective on healthcare and then taking it, like, way the hell out there. But it's funny. I mean, the impression is funny, and it's obviously mocking my sort of trains of logic and how I speak and the way that I break.
Trains of logic? What's the record on your railroad system for derailments? Do they ever get to the place they're going? Because,
got my sentences and all of that. And so that stuff I find really, really funny because, again, it is a takeoff on my general perspective.
Yes, he is once again explaining the joke.
Freedom Tunes guys are really hilarious. The best one of the Freedom Tunes, by the way, is the Thanksgiving dinner where it's all versions of me, sort of like Back to the Future 2, where every character is Michael J. Fox. That particular...
What? Like, I guess that kind of happens. He is the father, the son, and the daughter, but he's not every character. A better comparison would be like The Nutty Professor, where the clumps are all played by Eddie Murphy.
Particular Freedom Tunes is my favorite. I think I've seen this. Yes. This one is very funny.
Yeah, I am waiting.
Surreal meme.
Ha ha, that's epic. I'm literally laughing right now.
Actually, I don't think I've seen this one. I have not seen this one.
Okay, question time. How about we take a question from the girl with the pretty hair?
What is going on? What is this? What the?
Okay, I was just wondering, why can't girls be in the Boy Scouts?
Oh, haven't you heard? I am already Tracer.
Oh yeah? Where is that written?
I'm a gamer, rise up gamers. This society is no place for us.
All hail Benjamin, the only true God!
Okay.
This one is good. I like this one.
This is epic.
Benjamin Chaperone! At least it wasn't a Thug Life.
We are all...
Oh, he couldn't even come up with a joke. That's a shame. Ben, I get it. And that happens. As someone who does, like, streaming for a living, and I also do YouTube, sometimes the joke is just you mug to the camera, like, what? It's a cheap form of humor, but you can do it. But typically, and I say this from experience, when you do it, it's usually because you can't think of a joke. I do this. It happens all the time. So...
valuable human beings, but all was restricted to the tribe for most of human history, and we are reverting back to that now, which is all, we are all valuable except for that guy. That guy's not valuable. Screw that guy, right? He's a member of an opposing tribe. And I think that that's not only a problem, I think that takes the heart out of a society. There are legitimately millions of people in this country who believe that I will go to hell because I don't believe in Chinese Jesus. And you know what I think about that? I'm a ball of meat wandering through the universe purposeless. I don't have free will. I don't have the capacity to control my own life. What am I supposed to do now? Take my arm and put a knife in it and stab you? Well, maybe we should think about what the actual possible downsides here are, because virtually every action that we take has some unintended consequences. If I have a duty to kill you. Wait, hold on a second.
You're good at it.
You have no evidence whatsoever that that is the case. I'm here to kill you. What do you even care? Why can't you leave me the hell alone? I'm going to say what I think is true here, and we're done. I love Dave Rubin now.
Yeah.
You know what I think about that? I don't care. That's fine with me. I don't care. I think it's good. Yeah. So that's a lot of me, and that's a lot of fake me, and I very much look forward to Media Matters taking those quotes from this butchery of everything I've ever said, and then trying to come after me to cancel me. So that is some solid stuff. Actually, I'll admit, the better version of this is Jordan Peterson debating Jordan Peterson from Dave's show. That one is definitely the better version of this. Although it's enjoyable, and I have seen the Ben Shapiro versus Shen Shapiro kind of stuff before. The fact that I'm a meme is of utter amusement to me, because again, I am probably the squarest person on planet Earth. So the fact that I've become part of this sort of meme culture is endlessly hilarious. Well, thanks for watching this.
Hoo boy. So that's Ben Shapiro trying to meme. 3 of the 5 memes were thug life, so take that how you will, I guess.